Welcome back, everyone, to the Archery Golf Club here at Pineleaf's Archery Club. And today we will be looking into the matter of decorating the first hole, especially what we are going to do with this monstrous thing over here. But there's another matter I want to take care of first, and that is the matter of trees. Now, I'm wanting to do the trees first for 2 reasons. First off, let's face it, trees are very much a traditional hazard in golf courses. They give it a nice natural look, first of all. And second of all, they could be a spotty hazard. In other words, they get in your way a little bit, and maybe that's a little bit too close. And collectively, they can be a real pain, and even individually, sometimes they can be a specific nuisance. If you've ever knocked a golf ball into the woods and tried to extract it, well, let's say there is always the option of taking a penalty strokes and getting it out that way. But if you want to avoid penalty strokes, then let's face it, extracting your ball from the woods can be rather challenging, let's say. And I remember one time when I was watching the U.S. Amateur Final, the ball into the trees became a very important part of it near the end of it, and how well you could handle the trees at the end. Actually, I think it was Tiger Woods who actually knocked it into the woods near the end, which considering that he was behind at the time, you would have thought, oh, he's definitely going to lose. Nope. Being able to handle the trees, yes, important part of it. So therefore, yes. That's one reason for the trees here. The other reason for the trees there, other than being a natural hazard, is of course to give me a source of wood for when I'm doing my building projects. And now we need this style of being able to get this in here. Now, first off, let's see if I could get things leveled out properly to where I want it to actually make this look like some sort of, well, it's going to try to look like a habitation of sorts, but I'm mainly going to be using it as a tool shed, or I mean a storage area, because my chests, well, they are brimming over full. That's the only way to describe my chests at the moment. And I don't feel like creating a huge number of chests next to the bank. It just doesn't look right. So I'm going to try to turn this into... Oh, let me fill in this a little bit, because that's a bit of a hazard. And I think that being filled in will be useful there. Oh, yes. And I picked all these rose bushes also. So I thought that would be a nice little side item to have up here, too. Places where trees might not be completely in line. So I will have a few of those. Now I might move a couple of them after I have the structure built so that they will work with the structure. Because let's face it, that will be an important component there. But the reason why I am putting those down now is saving space, and I could always move them later. Right. Now that that's done, let's start to turn this into my little shed here. Now, what I'm thinking is maybe have this a little bit of a dip here, turn that into dirt. Oh, you are so tempting me. Yeah. I have so many chickens all over the place that you know that when they get in the way, that's what happens. It's inevitable. Right. So now let's get back to where I was here. But the idea there is to have things a little bit level so it's not... Alright, so now we're going to go down in here, and the idea here is to hide the... No, not that. Is to hide all of the stone until I get down to here. Right, and now I could worry about start building something of the, well, whatever it's going to be, work shed, tool shed. Think of maybe even a, I guess I could consider it to be a type of a, ooh, no, I certainly don't want to do a full stack of that right now because I don't think I could afford the space to turn that into a full stack. I mean, I could make one full stack, but I don't think I could turn the full stack into planks. All right, now the idea here is I'm going to use the oak for the main part of it. I'm going to use the spruce. Now, just that's what I get for killing the chicken. No, I want to eat the apple. Stupid, stupid, stupid. Oh, because I'm full. That's why I can't eat the apple. All right, I am full. I cannot eat the. All right, because I wanted to have. All right, make one chest. Yeah, I'm gonna have to make. Oh, okay, fine. You want to do it that way? We'll do it that way. Let's just. Oh. All right, throw this. Plop that on the ground. Pick that up. Do this. Make a chest. Cluck like a chicken. Right. Now, put the apple in there, put the chickens in there, put that in, put that in there, put that in there. I don't need that yet. Put the stupid eggs in there. I don't need redstone in here. Yeah, get some of the stuff. Oh, that oak fence will come in handy later. All right, good. All right. Oh yeah, they changed the sound of the chests. Sounds rather weird in its new sound, but maybe I'll get used to that at some point. Now, what I wanted to do that spurred that moment of exasperation was to get myself some spruce, because I want to have spruce along the well, I'll keep it that way for now. Along the side there. Actually, strangely enough, this is... I'm going to have a turf roof for this. And, okay, turf roof. Good. And that's the idea there. They're going to cover the whole thing with dirt, and that's going to be the form of the roof instead of tease. Well, it's not like I was in desperate need for it, right? All right. Actually, on the front, no. On the front, I will go up by 3, and this is sort of the top of the building. I know it's a lot shorter than normal, than a normal building would. Normally I would build much higher than this. But I have my reasons for doing it the way I have. It's sort of going to be Well, not quite a hobbit hole because it's not. I'm not going to attempt for rounded edges or anything like this, but I want to scale it as if it were. Oh, I just can't leave that unfarmed. The reason I left it to grow as long as I did was because I ran out of storage, but now I have that extra chest, so I might as well throw some stuff into it. And might as well get some sleep. Sleep! I need sleep! Well, maybe I don't need the sleep, but I need to avoid a creeper running smack into me because I failed to sleep. Alright, back here. So I'm sort of scaling it as if it were a hobbit hole. It looks like hobbit holes that almost look like they have a turf roof, which is why I'm choosing the turf roof there. And they tend to be built rather low. That's the reason there, because I've noticed that very often the windows are way sticky on the top instead of in centered as you would see them in human dwellings. Actually, the door would have to be here. Well, that is one variation I'm having from a hobbit hole, is that I am going to be having all of these stone floors, unless I decide to replace the floors with some other material. Oh yes, of course, I'll replace it with maybe birch. As for I'll create a wooden floor. That's it. Then I can have some stairs then leading up to it. So that actually could work out in the end. Okay. Now I am going to have windows. Now, the reason why it's not quite, as I said, you have rounded stuff with a hobbit hole, but I am not going to go in any way attempt a rounded theme or anything like that. Now, let's see. How many do I have on this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6. Why don't I just use the axe? Axe and you shall receive. Alright, and here we'll just... Alright, so that'll be for a little bit of variation. Good. And now my doors will go here. Well, that's the disadvantage of the distances I chose. But anyway, let's use axe against wood. Alright, now I'm going to take out a pair of spruce doors. Yeah, actually, I think spruce doors will be what I want. So let's see how that works. Alright. Alright, good. Yeah, especially since you got these round doorknobs there. I know a real hobbit hole would have the door itself would be round, but that is not going to be in this case. Definitely not. Right, so I can get a floor here, and the floor is going to be, I think the best material for the floor is going to be birch. That's what I'm going to go for. And if I'm wrong, well, I'll find out at some point. All right. So let's get some birch planks and make myself a floor. But I have to still be able to get down, because I'm hoping to have a bit of this area still available for mining and stuff like that. As I said, it's going to have this veneer of a rustic farm area or something like that, but that's not really going to be the reality, because I'm using it for storage, and I'm going to be using it for things like mining and stuff like that. So it's a bit of a false front, so to speak. Alright, let's see. And hopefully I can do this without creating a major hazard for me. Good. Yeah. And go down a little bit like that. And then we can get some planks here. Yeah, I think earlier I had called the slabs planks, but that's pretty much what's going to be expected when you hear me, because I always get those two confused whenever I talk, which ones are slabs and which ones are planks. Alright. Good. Alright, so that's sort of the entrance in here. They'll at least reduce it. It's of course going to be in the end covered up, and it's going to be covered up with a turf roof, because that's, at least whenever I look at hobbit holes, that's what it looks like they have on their roof, because they try to make it blend into the background, so to speak. Okay, and good. And now I'm going to try to create this on the sides also at some point. Now, so that's what I have for the door. And for windows, see, 1, 2, 1, 2. And then I can add some glass in. Oh, yes, I put the glass in here, because at the time I didn't need it. So I think, oh, I gotta remember the recipe. Oh, yes, there it. Okay, it only works. I think it was completely unnecessary for them to allow it in one direction but not the other. Right. But as you see, it's high up there, going practically into the roof area, as opposed to something more centered as you would in a more, say, a big folk type habitation. Alright, there you go. So a little bit of a, as I said, bit too squarish for a real hobbit hole. But it's a similar style if someone who had to deal with squares were trying to build something of that type. And that's what I am planning for that edge. But while on the top, it is going to have the turf covering it, so that if you're over here, you wouldn't notice much. It's only on this side where you notice anything. So that's what I am doing over here. Oh, and my trees are coming through. Now, how does this affect the play of the hole? Because in the end, now these aren't the final trees, of course, because I am going to be chopping them down, replanting them, and all that fun stuff. But how does this affect the play of the hole when you have all these trees in the way? In some ways, of course, it could make it difficult to see the pin. I think that's the pin down there. The pin's a little bit tougher to find. Right, because it looked like a pretty straight shot. But you're a little bit off, because some of those trees are getting over here. It's like, for example, this tree right here. It's very easy to get in the way of, well, it's in the water. Ooh. Yeah. Well, that's going to be tough. Yeah. No way in the world I'm going to fire from there. So I have to go back, and I am... Now, the rule for my course is that you either have to be at the place where it is, or 1 block behind it. That's where you have to be. And slight change for the green, where on the green you have to step as little back as you can in order to not be in melee range. Alright, so now we gotta do this without hitting the sheep, because the sheep's a real hazard in this one. Oh good, the sheep moved out of the way. Let's see if I could hit the hole. Well, I might have hit the pedestal, but I was certainly not in range, and let's make sure. Yeah, too low. But yeah, the tree made that a lot more difficult. So yes, the trees do add a little bit extra challenge to it. And I think that is for the best, because things were a little bit on the easy side there last time. So now I think they're a little bit more on the challenging side. And that is it for today. Hopefully between episodes I can get a little bit more of that little house down there and be able to move all of this junk into there and create a nice huge storage system. I'll probably have at least two chests worth of eggs by the time this is over with, and be able to get some of this other stuff into some logical storage areas, because right now I just have all this storage all willy-nilly about, and I need a little bit of organization. And did I just throw all of my food into the other place? Well, I'll be back probably better fed in the next episode of Piney Plays The Archer Minecraft.